right, so she is wondering, look, and if you guys are having a problem in your relationship, you don't know how to solve it between the two of you guys, then go ahead, hit us up at thebertshow.com. We'll throw it out to Bert Show fam. There's got to be somebody in the country going through the same thing you are. And in this case, she's not really sure what to do because she got vaccinated. He refuses to get vaccinated, but it's her husband and they're living under the same roof, so she's really, really upset. Cassie's got the email.
Bert Show, I heard you guys talking about the vaccine this week, and I have a bit of a question. I got vaccinated. However, my husband did not, which really pisses me off. He is our sole provider, and it feels like he needs more evidence that the vaccine won't hurt him long term. 3 days ago, he came down with a cold, chest cough, sniffles, fever, the whole nine. He went and got tested for coronavirus. If I'm being honest, I was really annoyed that this was an issue for our family. I had zero remorse for how he was feeling because I felt that he brought it on himself and he was about to expose me and my kids. He was about to put us all at risk. Turns out he tested negative. And even with this scare, he still refuses to get the vaccine. What are families doing when one parent gets vaccinated and the other doesn't? Are you guys dealing with the same tension as we are in my house? Emily.
Well, this is good. 1-855-BERT Show. I have this going on in my house right now. So I got vaccinated, and my fiance is a researcher, and a researcher, and a researcher, and a researcher. So we're a year now into the pandemic, and she's still researching the vaccine, and I'm trying to push her on. She's not against it. She just wants to make sure she's doing the right thing. But here we are in the house now, and I'm vaccinated, and she's not. So I wouldn't say there's any tension there. I sure wish she would. I've expressed that. That's for sure. But we have the same thing going down. So if one is vaccinated and the other isn't, if you're not going in as a family, it's just made me think, I mean, there's an outside the house question also for sure. But within the house, I mean, yeah, it just kind of lingers there for me, Mo.
I really don't know what you can do. I know of a couple couples that are in this situation, and it seems like the person that doesn't want to do it is that's just where they are. And I don't know if you can convince them or if you can give them any more research or any more assurance. It seems like being patient is really your only option for them to come around, because once they're stuck there, what can you really do?
Yeah, I don't think there's any more research that my fiance can do over the course of the next 2 weeks that's going to push her on one side or the other. It's either like I'm going to do it now or I'm not. And my guess is because we've gone this far, she's not going to get it. Cassie?
I really appreciate people who want to do their research when it comes to new medical procedures or new vaccines. I think that is really responsible to do. But the way I look at it as well also is coronavirus has long-term effects that can be really, really damaging if you catch it. And for me, if it's just a couple and there are no kids involved, well, you got the vaccine, so you're protected. So let them live their life. But for my worry is for the child or children who aren't protected and can't get vaccinated either. And I'm also guessing the parent wouldn't want their kid, even if they could get the vaccination, to get it without more research. Again, I understand it. But for me, then that would mean somebody needs to quarantine at home if that were my family.
You also have to remember, though, Cassie, that you're talking about long-term effects from coronavirus. We don't know what the long-term effects from the vaccine are going to be. I mean, it was pushed through so quickly, and it needed to be, but we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be there either.
Well, that's true, but scientists are not going to push something through that is deadly long term. Like, we take the flu vaccine every year. That changes every year. It's a different strain of flu every year. And yet nobody's like, I'm not going to, well, I'm sure there are some people out there, but there's not a national conversation about not getting the flu vaccine because you don't know what's in it and you don't know the long term effects.
I'll be honest with you. I took the vaccine, but if in 20 years or whatever, there was some problems with my health and with the country that were, somehow researched back to the vaccine and said, oh my God, it wasn't really, we didn't realize this, how bad it was going to be for us long term. I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't be 100% shocked.
No, but they're vaccines are thoroughly studied. It's something we can't understand because we're not a scientist and we're not in the industry. They do multiple tests studying for potential long-term effects. And let's not kid ourselves. People know the long-term effects of smoking, of drinking, of eating unhealthily, and we do all of that anyway. So this is something now that can help public health, could save your life, can save the life of others, vetted by scientists and the world's global leaders. And yet some of us are like, I'm not sure, I'm not going to do it, and then we continue to engage in risky behavior.
So I don't know what scientists were saying back in the days, but maybe the cigarettes is a really good example, because the cigarette companies and even in courtroom hearings were telling us that, nah, man, ain't nothing wrong with tobacco and nicotine. It's actually really, really good for you. And the whole country went, oh, that's cool. I'll just keep puffing away. So maybe that is a really good example.
I don't think you can compare, though, doctors being paid off by companies or studies being done to the advantage. Like, there are ways to do studies that are advantageous to certain groups, like cigarette and tobacco companies. I'm trying to choose my words very carefully. But we were lied to for years, and it was spin. This is an interest of national public health to stop people dying. They're not going to give us something that would kill us to stop people dying. That makes no sense whatsoever.
It's funny that I'm arguing for a side that I don't even believe in here, but at least I'm giving them a voice. That I think that some would say the exact same thing about the vaccine, that your argument for cigarettes back in the day, they feel the same way today when it comes to the vaccine.
But why? My question is why? What is the point of immunizing a group of people? You think they're looking to make money off us? That's it? That's really it? It costs more to put people in hospitals for Medicare and Medicaid to pay out than it would to make money off the vaccine.
Again, I think, and I'm speaking for a group of people that I'm not part of. But I have been listening. So I would say at the end of the day, it's about money. And it's about money at the end of the day.
Well, and history with vaccines tells us, too, long-term effects don't usually occur, and if they are going to occur, it's within the first 2 months. Looking back historically.
Here is Chelsea. Hey, Chelsea, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Okay, you got one person in the house that's vaccine. You got one person in the house that's saying, nope. What do you do about it?
So I'm vaccinated, but my husband is not. And I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion, marriage or not. It's their body, and they can choose what they put into it. I understand you want to keep your children safe, but we're through a brunt of the pandemic. A lot of stuff is moving more back to normal, and I just think choose your battles. That's not one that's worth it to me.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. And Valerie here's got a lot of tension in her house because she's going through the same thing right now.
My fiance got vaccinated, and it highly pissed me off because I asked him just to wait 1 year before, just let everybody else get it beforehand and let them figure it out. Because, the test trial, this is a test trial right now, and I don't want to be a part of it. I don't even want it to be in my house. So it's annoying me for sure.
So he went and he got it without asking you. He's in the house now. And what has happened now? You guys are just getting in a lot of fights about it? You feel betrayed?
Yes, I do, because I asked him. We talked about it. All I asked for him was to give me a year, let everybody else, if they die, if they live, whatever, just, a year. And he was like, okay. And then nope, he went and got it. And I felt highly betrayed. So it's something we don't really talk about, but every time it comes up, we just get excited.
Cass, you got something real quick to wrap it up?
Yeah, and also the type of vaccine used for COVID is called mRNA. That's the technology. It's been used for years. It's been studied for years as well. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your research and making your choices.
Get it? The BERT Show.